سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا محمد النبي الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه ومن اهتدى بهديه وعنا معهم برحمته وفضله إلى يوم الدين. قال الله تعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. First, all praise belongs to Allah, God, Lord of the worlds, and we invoke His blessings and mercy upon our dear and beloved Prophet Muhammad, his family, his companions, his followers, all prophets and messengers of God, and upon us through His mercy and grace. Allah, God, the Almighty, says in the Holy Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته. O you who believe, fear God the way He should be feared. ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. And do not die unless you are Muslims, meaning in full submission to Him. He also says in the Holy Quran, يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها. O mankind, fear God who has created you from a single soul, Adam that is, and from it He created its spouse, that is Eve. وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. And from the two of them He has created many, an offspring of many men and women. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام. And fear God, whose name you use when you make requests. And fear God in the way you treat your spouses, your relatives, and kin. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلَيْكُمْ رَقِيبًا. Indeed, God is ever watching over you. Allah, the Almighty, says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. And from amongst His signs is that He has created from within you spouses that you may seek tranquility in them. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And He has placed between the two of you love and harmony and mercy. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Indeed, in such signs are reflections for those who reflect. And Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, تَنَاكَحُوا تَنَاسَلُوا فَإِنِّي مُبَاهٍ بِكُمُ الْأُمَمَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Marry, reproduce, I am proud of your numbers on the Day of Judgment, meaning His followers, His nation. And Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, النكاح من سنتي أو الزواج من سنتي فمن رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. Marriage is from my traditions and teachings, and anyone who defies my traditions and teachings is not one of my followers. Also, the Prophet ﷺ gave us a criteria. He gave us a criteria to choose a spouse, whether we are a lady who's choosing a husband or a husband who's choosing a wife. And you two have already chosen each other. But this is so you can raise your children to have these specified prophetic criteria, so they can, when they are looking for a spouse, that they are using these guidelines and these criteria. So he says, first to the lady when she's choosing a spouse. إن جاءكم من ترضون دينه وخلقه فزوجوه إلا تفعلوه تكن فتنة في الأرض وفساد كبير وفي رواية وفساد عريض. If a man comes seeking your hand in marriage, or your daughter's hand in marriage, or your sister's hand in marriage, for instance, and you are pleased with two things, these are the two criteria. Deenahu, meaning his relationship with God. What does that mean? And the second one is وَخُلُقَهُ, and his character. Immediately give him your hand in marriage. If you do not use these two criteria, then there will be widespread corruption on earth, because people will be using superficial criteria. What is deen? Deen is his relationship with God, meaning he prays his 5 daily prayers. That's his relationship with God. He fasts his month of Ramadan. That's his relationship with God. He does pilgrimage to Mecca if he can afford to do so. That's his relationship with God. So the man has a strong connection, gratitude, and a spiritual relationship with his Creator, and he's grateful to God, the bestower of all of his blessings. That's a grateful person. And someone who turns their back on God, or is not grateful to the one who gave all of us everything that we have, then that person will not be grateful to us if we marry them. The second part is his akhlaq, which is just as important. If you are pleased with his relationship with God and his relationship and character with God's creation, with everyone else, meaning he is kind, he is generous, he is gentle, he is honest, he is hardworking, all of the qualities that a person would have, in this particular case, the husband or the groom, in regards to his relationship with God's creation, his neighbors, his co-workers, his siblings, his family, his friends, his community, Muslim and larger, non-Muslim, everyone. That if that person's character is beautiful, and his relationship with other people is very kind, gentle, generous, caring, etc., and he has a strong relationship with God, then that's a good person to marry. Unfortunately, nowadays, sometimes we find someone who may have a spiritual or a so-called spiritual relationship with his Lord. So the person has almost a schizophrenic personality. He'll pray, fast, but as soon as they step foot out of the mosque or out of their home, or even sometimes within their home, they cheat, lie, not nice people. That's not the ideal person. And also you have another person that may not pray to God a single unit of prayer, single rak'ah. Someone who does not fast, someone who is not grateful to his Lord. But he says, oh, I have a clear, pure heart, I'm a good person. Well, that's also not the ideal person. We want someone who's balanced, who has both. It's like two wings. And we want a person, ideally, who's grateful to his Lord and is grateful and is kind to God's creation and everyone else. So that's the criteria for a lady in Islam to choose a spouse, a husband. Now the criteria for a husband, and I'm saying this to you so you can raise your children to look for these important, extremely important qualities in a husband. Not any other superficial qualities. Everything else comes secondary. These are primary. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, also gave us criteria for how to choose a wife. And he says, تُنْكَحُ الْمَرْأَةُ لِأَرْبَعَ. He said a woman is pursued in marriage for 4 reasons. لِمَالِهَا وَلِحَسَبِهَا وَلِجَمَالِهَا وَلِدِينِهَا فَاظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرِبَتْ يَدَاكَ. Because of her wealth, meaning wealth without any faith or character. Someone who's just wealthy, and that's all he cares about, is marrying her because she's rich. And another person may marry a woman because of her family and social status. Because she's a Kennedy, so he wants to marry her. Or she's a whatever, he wants to marry her. Not because of any faith or character traits in her. Also for her physical beauty only, meaning beauty without faith or character. And a fourth is for her faith and character. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, marry the one that has faith and character, your marriage will succeed and flourish. طيب, the best explanation of this hadith, this prophetic saying I found, was that if we can imagine faith and character as number one, the mathematical number one, and she has faith and character, say she has an income, you put a 0 next to it, it becomes a 10. She has faith and character, she has deen, and then she has an income, she also comes from a good family, put another 0, becomes 100. She's beautiful, put another 0, becomes? She knows how to cook. And you can keep adding all the different zeros. Take away faith and character, what are you left with? Zeros. So, deen, faith, and character is extremely important. Everything else is secondary to deen. Everything else is secondary and superficial compared to faith and character. طيب. That being said, I have a few humble recommendations or some advice for the two of you particularly, and for myself and everyone that is present. One, marriage is very important. In Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions marriage in the Quran as mithaqan ghalidha, a holy covenant. It isn't something to take lightly. But before I talk about that, the two of you are in this to make each other better, especially emotionally and mentally. You should take care of each other, especially take care of each other's emotional needs and well-being. And the two of you after marriage should be much better off emotionally than you were before marriage to each other. Pay extremely close attention to each other's feelings. Emotional scars are much deeper and worse than physical scars, and both are unacceptable. So you really, really need to pay very close attention to each other's emotional needs and give the other your entire heart. Love as much and as best as you can. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this is the core of marriage, as we spoke the other day together. Allah says He has created for us spouses so we can seek tranquility and peace in them. That means the home should be your domain, your place that is your favorite place. You should prepare your home in such a way that either one of you would get off work and cannot wait to go home to the other. That should be their favorite place in the entire world to be. And that environment and how to make it your favorite and the other's favorite place, that's on the two of you. And your creativity is needed in that department. It's extremely important. Because Allah says in the Quran, لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. It shouldn't be to stress you out. It shouldn't be to make you upset furthermore. No, it should be to make you more at peace. And seek tranquility in them. Just your favorite and happy place. That's the definition of home. Also, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And He has placed between the two of you love. Love is one of the core pillars of marriage. There needs to be emotion, and there needs to be expression of this emotion in all the different ways. We express it verbally, we express it physically, we express it through gifts, we express it through different tasks and things that we do towards the other in services. It's important that we express in all the different ways to show our love and support to the other. And also rahmah, mercy. This relationship isn't black and white. Isn't, you give me, I give you, say equal exchange period with some decimal points. No, this is mercy. One is tired, the other one covers them, the other one cares for them. The one is excited, the other one shares the excitement with them. And one is ambitious, the other one, supports them, makes them even more ambitious and achieve their goals. This is the kind of beautiful, dynamic relationship of marriage in Islam. And also Allah mentions in the Quran, هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. They are, meaning the wife, are garments for you, O men. And O men, you are garments for them, the wives. What does that mean, garments? Clothes. What is garment? What Allah, God, the Almighty used the example of garments. Libas. What does a garment do for a human being? It makes them appear more beautiful. It covers their faults. It warms them up in the cold temperature similar to now. Mm-hmm. And this is the divine example from God, telling us what we should be to the other. So therefore, your relationship is so precious in the sight of God, and you two should be garments for one another to always make each other appear at their best and in their best state. Not just a superficial fake appearance, but truly bring out the best in the other. And that's why it is extremely important that you never expose the secrets and privacy of your home. In this day and age, I deal with so many problems between couples because of the lack of clear understanding and defining of privacy and private life versus public life, public information, shared information. Therefore, I advise the two of you not to tweet, Facebook, broadcast, Instagram, call, email, or whatever it is that you just broadcast every single little and big thing that happened in your life. That is a cause, in many cases, of destruction to marriages that I see. I'm not anti-social media, but there needs to be a better understanding, and this is something you two need to develop, and all of us too, that what is there and appropriate enough for me to share, and what is private. This private life, for some odd reason, is almost non-existent anymore in many couples' lives, and it is a source of, in many cases, the demise of marriage. And I don't want that for the two of you. So therefore, understand your private life. If you guys come to a disagreement, God forbid, hopefully you guys have a beautiful, harmonious life. But we shouldn't immediately pick up the phone and tell all our friends and family and so on. We shouldn't just go share it with our coworkers and neighbors. We shouldn't just Facebook it, I'm having a terrible day, my husband or my wife did this. We shouldn't have, these are private affairs. You need to contain and not air out your own laundry. And then talk about it. Resolve our issues. We are human beings. Our first parents, Adam and Eve, made a mistake. They ate from the forbidden tree, both of them. So we are not expected to be perfect. We strive to improve. We strive to make minor mistakes rather than major mistakes. But once you two are married, you will be closer to each other than anybody is ever close or is close to you. And therefore, you will see each other's faults. When you view one another, see the many beautiful qualities in the other, and do not just pinpoint the one or two qualities you're not pleased with and define the other person as those two things. You need to be fair in your perception of each other, and you need to be more holistic and see there are countless, hundreds, if not thousands, of great qualities in this person. But I'm not happy with this one or two things. Well, look at this. In comparison to this, it makes you value what you have. Secondly, is once you want to make the other better, because you love each other and care to make each other improve, then figure out what is the best approach. It isn't just to blatantly say, oh, you need to work on this. To some people that may work, but you need to understand what works best for each other and figure out the best time and the best way and how gentle you need to be when you approach one another. And the other should accept these things because they firmly believe that you want their well-being and them to be at their best. So we shouldn't be defensive, but also we need to know how to approach the other. Also, the two of you are now going to be a young Muslim couple. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُ الذِّئْبُ مِنَ الْغَنَمِ الْقَاسِيَةِ. The wolf, he used the example of the wolf eats the stray sheep, not the one with the rest of the group. And that this metaphor is used for us, as we know, our wolf, our enemy is shaitan, Satan. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, wants us to be with the rest of our community. Not secluded, far, far away. We never know what's happening. If anything happens to us, no one knows about it. And this is not how the ideal lifestyle or the better lifestyle that is prescribed to us by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He wants us to be part of the community. So therefore, since you live 20 minutes away from here, you can come to this masjid or any other mosque that the two of you choose to go to. Just figure out one that has programs that's appealing to you, that you want to go to. You don't have to go to just one, by the way, but just go together, husband and wife, to a masjid and pray together and join the Muslim community in the Taraweeh prayers, in the Eid celebrations, which Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told every single person to go. Old, young, male, female, can pray, cannot pray, everyone go together to the Muslim gathering. Why is that so important? Because he wants us to see one another, to socialize with one another, pray with one another, gather together and be a true community. When you have children, you make a aqiqah, which is basically a welcoming of your child to this world, inshallah. You come to your community and have this meal with your friends and family, and you videotape this and show them, hey, look how happy we were when you came to this world. Look how many people celebrated your coming. This is done in a communal setting. And you can make it as big or small as you like, but it's important for you to be part of the community. Pray with the community. Listen to lectures with the community. Get to meet other couples in the community. Socialize. We're going to Umrah in March. If you can, go to Umrah, whether in March or other times. You need to be part of the community. And I'll tell you this from my personal experience. Over the past 3.5 decades or so, we have seen Muslim families that came to the mosque, husband, wife, and children, frequently, more than once a week. And they came together and prayed and or listened to a lecture or whatever. And they attended and frequented the masjid in this country. The children grew. They married other wonderful Muslim spouses. And they also started to come to the masjid. And they were very well-balanced Muslim Americans that continued to sustain their identity and be productive members of society without losing their faith. On the other hand, we have seen and observed wonderful Muslim families as well, who only occasionally visited the mosques, came on Eids, maybe Fridays, and husband, wife, children didn't come to the mosques as frequent as the other example that I gave. A decade or two later, their children married mostly non-Muslim, and they both lost their faith, and their grandchildren know nothing about Islam. This is a sad, unfortunate reality that we face, and I am telling you this from experience. What we want from you is to be proud of your identity, be a wonderful, productive member of the broader society and your local community, but also not have to lose your identity and your faith. And the way we found for this to be retained as your faith and grow spiritually, we're not here to just grow financially and physically only. No, we also need to grow emotionally, we also need to grow spiritually, we also need to grow socially. These are I highly recommend for the two of you to find a mosque that you two like to attend, or mosques, and go to it at least once a week. And I get a promise from every couple that I conduct the marriage for to give me a promise that you will go and visit a mosque together, any mosque you two choose to go to, at least once a week, for prayer or lecture, whatever you choose, whatever program you want to attend.